Hello friends, welcome to Insights ICANN initiative. In today's video onwards, we revamped our program, daily program from today onwards. Whichever topic we are discussing related to that, we will discuss how the prelims questions can be asked and what are the focused areas you have to be focused and what are the mains question can expect that kind of topics. I will explain in the beginning of this video. If this initiative helps to you, please give the feedback so that I can continue this initiative in the next few videos. So in today's video, we are going to discuss about Israel-Palestine conflict. Already you know that the Israel-Palestine conflict is going on, but this particular topic is related to war crimes. So what are the war crimes? And what kind of conventions deals with the war crimes? Geneva Convention, we will discuss about that as well. Meanwhile, so when any international organization, such as for example in this video, we are going to discuss about ICC, International Criminal Court. When you are preparing, if you come across any international organization, first you have to know in examination point of view, how that organization formed, what is the role of that organization, what is the mandate, why it formed, members and significance of that organization. So this is your study, like dimension should be. Then you have to check whether the India is having the membership or not. Then organization news very often, why that organization is in news, why it is relevant to India. For example, SCO recently India hosted and SCO based mains question appeared in the UPSC. So why that organization in news, that also you have to remember. Now if you look at, so one of the international relations based question in 2022, the question is consider the following. They given Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, Missile Technology Control Regime MTCR, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. India is a member of which of the following? Obviously, India got membership in all the organizations, so answer must be D. So this is how questions will be found. And from the same area, how the mains questions can be expected. See, virus of conflict is affecting the functioning of the SCO. So conflicts among the nations in SCO, it is affecting. Why this question appeared? Because recently, this year 2023, India hosted the SCO summit along with the G20 as well. In the light of this above statement, point out the role of India in mitigating the problems. Okay, so how India is mitigating the conflict among the SCO? That is the main question here. Now, we'll come back to this topic, war crimes. First, you have to understand why it is in news. So, during the Israel and Palestine war, there are evidences of war crimes by the Hamas in Israel as well as the Palestinian occupied areas by Israel in those areas. So this human rights violation is happening from mutual sides and a loss related to this kind of war crimes, how this can be resolved and what is the role of ICC, what kind of challenges ICC is facing and how this ICC functioning and what are the Geneva Conventions. Actually, these Geneva Conventions, they were also in news when Abhinandan Vardhaman was captured by Pakistan. You might have remembered that. When Abhinandan Vardhaman were captured by Pakistan, at that time also, these Geneva Conventions were in news regarding the wartime prisoner in that context. Now let's see why it is in news. It is in news because Israel and Palestine forces, from Palestine, Hamas, they are creating huge death toll in this aspect. This kind of war-related complex, complex issues comes under the international system of justice that emerged since World War II. Okay, after World War II, International Criminal Court been established, and that particular system is overviewing this kind of violence, which is leading to a lot of death toll as well. Dealing war crimes. So war crime is all about violation of laws of the war. So what considered as a violation of the law, violation of the war that you have to understand? Violation of the war is intentionally killing the civilians, killing people and torturing the people, taking the hostages, unnecessary destroying of civilian properties, causing civilian properties damage, deception by perfidy, intentionally, wartime sexual violence, then pillaging, that means wastaging of all these essential things, attempt to committing mass killings, conspiration of children into the military, that means forcefully taking children into the war, that is conscription, and legal distinction of proportionality and military necessity. That means even though it is not required, you are using excessive military force. All this comes under the violation of laws in war. So which resulted into war crimes. Which laws will govern this kind of war crimes? Obviously, Geneva Convention. Geneva Convention include how civilians must be treated, as well as the law of armed conflict or international humanitarian law. These are the two other names we will use for the Geneva Conventions. It applies to both government forces as well as the militia such as Hamas. Next, resolution in the case of Israel and Palestine. In the Israel and Palestine conflict, if the local judiciary is unable to enforce proper laws, if they feel that they are not equipped, then this International Criminal Court can involve. Of course, the local courts also can invoke International Criminal Court jurisdiction, but if it is not happening, then ICC will take the control directly. And this ICC functions on Rome Statute. It gives legal authority to investigate all the alleged war crimes on the territory of its members or by their nationals when domestic authorities are unwilling to do so. Okay, when domestic investigating is not investigating properly, then ICC will interfere. Here, the most important thing you have to remember: Israel is not a member of ICC, but Palestine is a member of ICC. That is the reason we are discussing about ICC now. International Criminal Court, headquarters based in Hague, and it was established in 2002. It has jurisdiction over war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. Member countries 123. Non-members, this you have to understand: China, USA, Russia, India, Egypt. That means India is not a member of ICC. And one more thing, because Russia is not a member of ICC, ICC is unable to do anything against Putin. That you have to remember. That is the reason, if Putin lands in any country which is the member in the ICC, then that country will automatically arrest Putin. Israel rejected the ICC jurisdiction because Israel did not like ICC interfering in the Palestine issue. That is the reason Israel is not willing to come back into the ICC. Here, if we compare the ICC and ICJ, ICJ is somewhat older in terms of ICC. ICJ was established in 1946 and ICC in 2002. ICJ is important organ of the UNO, whereas ICC is independent organization. That is the reason ICJ funded by UN. ICC, it is having a funding from various countries, voluntarily funding. Generally, ICJ, it deals dispute between the countries as well as dispute between the parties as well. Whereas ICC only deals with the criminal prosecution of individual. It don't deals with the countries. So these are the broad differences between the ICJ and ICC. Challenges. Main challenge is inadequate budget and inadequate staff. And now already this ICC is burdened with around 17 cases, including the recent Ukraine and Russia. Next, the ICC, which is already investigating the Palestine issue since 2021. That is the reason only Israel quit ICC. Next, what acts could violate the war crime law? We already discussed: deliberate targeting of civilians, indiscriminate attacks, civilians as hostages, Israel counter-strike in Gaza that killed so many Palestinians, and the taking of hostages, murdering and torture are banned under the Geneva Conventions. That means if any particular country is doing these things, that means they are violating the war crime conventions. War crime conventions mainly it applies to wartime prisoners. That means whoever captured during the war times, like Indian army captured hundreds and thousands of the Pakistan army personnel in 1971 war, and civilians. This Geneva Convention protects and military personnel like Abhinandan Vardhaman. Here, the use of wartime conventions related to conventional weapons, they are related to 1899 and 1907. In these 2 years, convention related to, wartime convention on the conventional weapons was enacted. If you look at here, biological and chemical weapons, they developed through Geneva Protocol in 1925. How to use these genetical weapons? That is according to Geneva Protocol 1925. So how many Geneva Protocols are there? 4 Geneva Protocols are there. First Geneva Protocol, it is about the sick and wounded members of the armed forces. It exclusively deals with the armed forces, like Abhinandan Vardhaman. improving the conditions of the shipwrecked sailors, members of the armed forces at sea. It is completely related to ocean and water level ecosystem. Geneva Convention 3, treatment of prisoners of war, very, very important. War, during the wartime, whoever captured, they will be dealt according to this third convention. Fourth one, Geneva Convention 4, protection of civilians in time of war. It is related to civilians. Sometimes you know that civilians go past the border between the India and Pakistan and they end up in Pakistan. Later, of course, with the help of authorities, they can come back. But these are the 4 Geneva Conventions you have to know. Yesterday's video question, Gunji village, recently in news, it is lying in which state? Uttarakhand. Next question, it is situated at the Lushai mountain hills and it is surrounded on the west by Bangladeshi Chittagong hill tracts and on the east by Teri river. What is the most likely description? So this description fits to what? Dampa Tiger Reserve. Recently, which of the following state organized a campaign called Amrit Bhiksha Andolan? It aimed to increase the state's green cover, that is Assam. Same like Telangana, Haritaharam in Telangana. And if this kind of program, like increasing the forest cover, is anything in Karnataka, please comment below this video. Next, recently, Supreme Court appointed committee that has declared 12 private resorts along the Segur Elephant Corridor as an elephant, like June. So regarding this, it is related to which biosphere reserve? This Segur Elephant Corridor, it is present in Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Next, Mukundra Hills Tiger Reserve, present in where? Rajasthan. Then we'll see today's video question. Today's video question. Consider the following statement regarding ICC. Read these 2 statements carefully and pick the right statements. Mains question. Differentiate roles and functions of ICC and ICJ. What are the main differences between the ICC and ICJ? That is today's mains question. As we reach to this end of this video, in today's onwards, we'll discuss about a particular theme and that theme related to PYQ and mains question, and we'll discuss the detailed analysis of a particular topic. In case if any detailed, very big topic is not there, we will discuss the same video with 2 to 3 topics, short topics. That is also we are planning. And in this video, we discussed about what is war crime, Geneva Convention, ICC, ICJ difference, and what is the India stand, and all these details we discussed. And this is the detailed analysis regarding the war crimes in Israel and Palestine.